I gotta get rid of more games. Oh, I do. I've been needing to make space on my shelves because for the past 4 or 5 days, I've been getting new acquisitions in the mail. And I know that that's not going to stop anytime soon. And this is what happens when you buy Kickstarters, okay? This is what happens when you, like 2 years ago, you are unable to have any restraint. You get an enormous amount of packages showing up at your door combined with review copies and whatever. So I need to clear some room on my shelves, and I have culled once again, and I'm getting to that point where it's really hard. It's really, really hard to do, and I'm gonna start stashing stuff at my parents' house because there's some games that I don't really want to get rid of, but I also am trying to think about the people who I play it with and the types of people who I'm holding on to. And if this starts to happen to you, the best thing to do is to give those people your games. If you're worried about that, like that attachment to it, and you think I'm never going to play this game again, but you always play it with the same people, well, then you can give those people your games, make them store it for you, and clear up room on your shelf for more acquisitions. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to be mindful of. I'm trying to be mindful of my friends who have similar games and who I can pass these off to. Let's get into the list of everything that's leaving. And I'll go through little breakdowns of the games, why they're leaving the collection, why they're not sticking around. Because I'm at the point where looking at my shelf, I'm like, okay, I can't get rid of any of these. Like it's really hard because I genuinely like all of them, but we only have so much time in the day. And that's the struggle that I am dealing with right now. But we're going to get through it together and finally get some of these out of the house. And I no longer have games in front of the shelf now. And that's a really, really good thing. Okay, so let's get rid of. Oh, I just thought of another one. I thought of another one. And I even grabbed another one on my way over there. Okay, the first one we're getting rid of is this little game called The Grizzled. The Grizzled is a fun little cooperative card game. Oh, you know what? I have this still set up so I can show you. I can show you examples. Look at that. How great is this? I wasn't intending to use this angle, but we can. Basically, you're gonna have half the deck over here. You're gonna have half the deck over here. You gotta get through. All right, we're back to it. You gotta get through this whole deck to uncover the peace symbol, and you're gonna do that by going on missions. When you go on a mission, it's a cooperative game, so everybody has a hand of cards with a number of different threats on them. There's 3 different types of symbol threat, and there's also 3 different types of terrain threat. And on your turn, you kind of put a card down in front of you. And that's on the mission. And if you ever have 3 of those, you have to fail the mission. So you keep on playing cards around and around, and then you retreat. You retreat, you pass, done. And so each round, more cards get added to this, and you're trying to draw cards off the deck, dealing that out to people who are saying, listen, I want 3 cards in my hand, etc. But you need to have not as many cards in your hand at the end, because then the amount of cards in everyone's collective hand indicates the number of cards that get added. So you're trying to judge how many cards you can push, etc. But that's not the only thing, because there's also these horrible conditions. It's like this one is the absent-minded condition, where it says, before withdrawing, choose and remove one of your support tiles from the game. So you can have these little things that can bonus each other. They're all horrible. They're absolutely all horrible, and you have to work together to support each other to get rid of them from people. These are places like permanent negative status effects on people. Yeah. Anyway, it's a fun game. It is a fun little game. And this is one that legitimately I might not get rid of because I have to check with Renee to see if I can get rid of it. But I think we can get rid of it. This is one that Renee got me like early on when we were dating, because she knew I like board games and somebody recommended it. And it's definitely fun, but I think there are other better cooperative games, right? Like I would much rather play Hanabi, and so because of that, we're not really going to reach for the Grizzled that much. And it's very hard to do at 4 to 5 players. It's not impossible. It's very hard to win with that, and so it's just not one that I pull out of much. So even though it's small, it's going. Next up. This is a tough one because this one also may not go. I've been holding on to this one, Sobek 2 players, because I think Renee will really enjoy it. I have a review of this on the channel, and it's by Bruno Cathala, and it's got a very big King Domino feel to this. I think it's fun. You're going to have a tile, a sort of grid laid out, and you have this Ankh here. You can take a good tile in the Ankh's line. So whatever the line, whatever the Ankh is pointing at, if it was angled, so it was pointing like this, you could take the tiles there. But right now, see how it's pointed that way? So you couldn't take any of those tiles. When you take it, the Ankh goes there, and it orients depending upon where that tile tells you how to orient. And so I like this back and forth, but you're collecting sets very similar to King Domino scoring. It's the number of little points on the tiles times the number of physical tiles that you have of that thing. I like this game. I was sad Zach really didn't like this game. And it's also one that has, like, it's not as user-friendly as King Domino. And so, especially because King Domino plays similarly, King Domino plays 2 to 4 players, and King Domino's a bit lighter too. This has a little bit more crunch to it. I'm absolutely horrible at this game, but because of that, it can go. It can go. It's good. It can go because I don't reach for it, and I unless Renee says she's going to play it with me. It's small, though. Maybe I'll take it. Maybe I'm not going to sell it. Maybe I'm going to take it this Christmas. She's currently with her folks right now. I'm going to go meet up with them. So maybe I'll take it, and maybe we can play it over the break. TBD. That was a TBD. That was a gut reaction. Here's another one that's going that I also probably have to bring with me because I'm going to give this to Renee's nephew, who really enjoys it. The Psyche Pizza Deliverers go to a ghost town. It's very simple. One of you is the mayor of Ghost Town who knows where everything is, and everybody else has these. Oh, I keep going to that one, the smaller one. Everybody else has these little grids that they have to determine where everything is, and you have to kind of blindly run around to get a pizza and get to a house before anybody else does it. It's really cute, very unique. I love the name and the theme, and it's one that has resonated really well with Renee's nephew, who's 7. Who quite enjoys being the mayor as well. So I think we're going to give this to him, unless we want to give him a fresh copy for Christmas. But I think we're just going to give this to him, because then I can get it off my shelf. That's what I said. I'm like, I don't need it here if we only play it with Lincoln. So that's Psychic Pizza Deliverers. That one's gone to another home. Also going to another home. We've got the Chronicles of Crime Millennia series. Chronicles of Time hasn't even been opened. I don't really care to open it at this point. This, I think, I'll sell, because this one's mine. Because Renee got this for me, and we played through most of this one. So it's just done. It's gone. And then these we stole from our neighbor, and we're gonna give them back because we had our fun with them. I think we played them through enough. And the thing about Chronicles of Crime, and I've said this a bunch, it's tiring. It feels like it would be a lot less tiring as a solo game, because then you can just go through, you can read the story, you can look at you can look at your different cards and just go through the scanning and whatever. And with this one, it's whenever I play it, I have to narrate it basically, and I get a little bit tired of doing that narration. And so there's a few, like, I haven't played any of the 1900 yet. I don't know if I'm going to, because it just takes a lot of energy to do, and I'd rather play something else. I'd rather play a different co-op game. I like the story, but I don't like the shine of it has worn off now. I've done enough of them that I'm like, okay, it's starting to feel a bit repetitive, and the experience doesn't keep going up for me. I think they're definitely worthwhile checking out if you've never played a Chronicles of Crime thing. If you like the escape room style games, really fun stories. But there's things that I would now only play solo, having played a bunch of them. I don't play a lot solo, and I'd rather play something else. So those are going. Goodbye, Chronicles of Crime. I never knew you. Here's something that's going as well. Zombicide. I've got Zombicide Prison Outbreak, which I got this. I bought this off secondhand in order to have a Zombicide in my house, because Zach has Black Plague and Green Horde, and I was like, yeah, I like Zombicide, I want it too. But now I have Massive Darkness, which I like better, and I was keeping this to, again, see if Renee likes it, because she likes zombie-themed stuff. And she was like, meh, whatever, I don't really care. I'm like, okay, fine. If you don't care, I don't really care. I'd much rather play Massive Darkness. Or if I'm going to play Zombicide, it's one of those things where I'm going to go over to my friend Zach's house and play his version of Zombicide. That's beautiful and all painted. And I don't need to invest and have that same system on my own shelf. I can have that shelf space for other unique things. So that's going away. It's good. These piles are going to get tall. Another thing that's leaving is peak oil. And you might think, hey, Chris, you love Peak Oil. Well, yeah, I do. I love Peak Oil Profiteer. And you might be thinking, hey, Chris, why is that back here? It's like, oh, because I already have Peak Oil. And then you might be remembering, hey, Chris, didn't you do a giveaway for this Peak Oil? I did. And the person did receive it. However, the person also lived in Australia. And it's probably why my giveaways are only going to be the stuff that I'm sending from my own personal house is only going to be in North America from here on, because I couldn't. It was cheaper to purchase a copy in Australia and send it from an Australian store to the winner than it was to mail this copy, which the whole express purpose of having the giveaway was to get rid of this copy. But I want everybody to have games, so that's fine. I'm very excited that he got a copy. I hope Christian, I think it was Christian who won it. I hope you have played it and enjoy it. And if you don't tell me about it. No, do tell me about it. I'm interested because I have yet to get Peak Oil to the table. So I'm excited to get this to the table, but this copy can go and I can sell it to recoup some of the costs. That was my thinking, right? Like I can sell this and then put that money towards the paying for a new version. So it's kind of the same. It's just a different. So that's why this one's going. But I made good on the giveaway. I would never do a giveaway and not make good on it. And we've done a bunch of giveaways and given away a bunch of free games over here. And we give away even more over on Patreon. But that's a secret that I'm not telling you about, really, because I don't want to incentivize you to join Patreon thinking there's going to be a giveaway. There won't be. But some of my members are just really generous and they love to do giveaways in the community. People are playing fantasy football right now, and whoever wins that is going to win a game from the person who wanted to organize it. But don't join Patreon just for that, just for the awesome, cool community that you can have. No, join it because you like me and me alone, and you're altruistic. But just wanted to make sure that you knew that I'm not a friggin' scam artist. That's all. I mean, you know that I'm a shill, but I may be a shill, but I'm not a scammer or a hacker. Okay, let's go with this one next. Labirynth. You have seen the review of this by now, maybe or maybe not. It's not good. It's just not good. Let's move on. It's really it wasn't that good. Sorry, but I did put out a review of it about it. I fulfilled my obligation. My obligation is now done. So now it can go away. I'm going to save that one for last because it's my favorite one that I'm getting rid of. Ooh, now you have to stay till the end. Something I'm going to get rid of from a box standpoint is Holotype, the Mesozoic Europe prototype expansion. I'm probably just going to give this back to the creators because I backed this on Kickstarter because I like it so much. So it's not going to leave, but it will also be able to be absorbed into the main box as well. So I don't know, but this is just purely to get stuff off my shelf. So I am happy to see all these boxes kind of lined up. Another thing that I'm getting off my shelf is a roll and write game, Roll Through the Ages, where, oh, that's why I shouldn't have put the boxes there. I cannot see my screen anymore. Where you can build an Iron Age civilization in under an hour. That's just kind of the roll and write of Through the Ages and just one aspect of Through the Ages. And I'll be honest, I've never played this. And I was keeping it to play because I thought it looked cool. And I just had to be honest with myself that when I opened it up and I saw the little pegboards and I saw how simple it was, I was thinking this will be very simple and very easy to play. And then I was thinking about the other roll and writes that I have and I enjoy. And if I'm going to play a roll and write, I'm just going to play Dinosaur Island roll and write. This nice quality stuff. Pegboards, you can go around and put your armies and stuff somewhere, I guess. I don't know. Never played it. Let me know if I'm making a horrible mistake. But by the time this comes out, it'll probably already be too late. No, I also think my neighbor has a copy, right? And so again, I've seen this. I think I've seen this on my neighbor's shelf, and then that to me was like, okay, you should get rid of that. Because if you ever want to play it, your neighbor probably has it, or someone you know has it. Another game that I'm getting rid of is a game called Alien Uprising, and you know what? I've never played this either. This is your call out if you like this game in the comments to let me know that I'm making a huge mistake. The reason that I'm getting rid of this, or the reason I got this is, again, I got this in a large bundled deal. I got it in a big bundle deal. because I saw they had Abomination. I've been slowly, if you've tuned into any of these Purge videos, you can see me slowly getting rid of things over and over. And honestly, at this point, I should really just bite the bullet. But I only have like I only have 3 left from that big bundle that I haven't played, because I've now gotten rid of most of them. And so those are the ones that I really want to try out, that I will learn eventually. Oh no, I just realized I have a couple more at Zach's. But that doesn't matter, it's at Zach's, it's not at my house. Zach's have never taken them back. We'll get to them eventually. Oh, this is you have a problem. You have a serious problem when you are storing them at other people's houses. Seems like it's got like nice quality stuff. Look at all these bins. Good bins in here. Somebody who gets this is gonna have themselves a good time. That's a nice bin. It's a nice bag. Now, real question, do I steal? Oh my goodness. Look at this bin. This is so nicely organized. This is another reason why I wanted to play it, because the time has been taken to make it playable. But again, the reason why it's finally going is because this is another sort of big game where you're running around and you're fighting aliens and all that sort of stuff. And because of that, I already have a lot of those games that I like, you know? I already have a lot of those games that I play and I get to the table. And that's why I was holding on to it, because I was like, oh, I want to try this and see if it's if it makes it a dent. And I just haven't gotten to it. And I need to be honest with myself that I'm not getting to it. And this is also like a really good reminder for me personally, and maybe for you. Sometimes bundle deals aren't great. I'm going to sell all this in a bundle deal. I put them up for like in our local group for prices that make it worthwhile to purchase, because getting it out of my house is so important. But that's the sort of deals that I like to look for as well. Bundles, so you can try things out, maybe get to it, maybe not. That's the danger with bundle deals, though, is because you're not going to stop your buying habits. You're not. There's always going to be the new hotness, right? The new hotness that you have to dive into. And I know you're on this channel because you found me through 5 Reasons You Shouldn't Back, because you needed somebody desperately to tell you to stop purchasing things, because I need to tell myself that constantly. And you see why I have that mentality now, right? Because of stuff like this. No, this was a great deal, and I should have bought it. There's no world in which I shouldn't have done it, because I got things like Abomination, and that's the only thing I think I've kept out of that whole bundle. But I got Abomination, which I really like, and I got to try Dwarf Sevens. I got to try Dead Man's Cabal, which I thought was going to be really cool, and it just didn't turn out to be that cool. I love bundle deals, but if you do get a bundle deal, put a time limit on it, right? You need to put a hard time limit on it, because if you don't get to it at a certain point, it's not exciting enough for you, or you don't have the time, which is me, to get it to the table, and that's okay. But then just move on. Okay, I'm very proud of all these boxes. Another box. Now let's get into the still going to other people's houses segment of it. We have Ticket to Ride Africa. This I think has 3 sets of trains in it, if I'm remembering correctly. Is that what I did with this? Because I think I won this. Yeah, there we go. 2 sets of trains, and then there's the train cards underneath. I won this at a Ticket to Ride tournament that I came in 4th in, and so that was fun. And so everybody got an expansion to win. And then I kind of kit bashed this, so I had extra trains. My mom had extra trains because everybody who attended the Ticket to Ride tournament got like a special set of translucent trains. So she replaced her blue ones in her set, and I took the extra ones here. And then she also had the 1910 cards for Ticket to Ride. And so then I took her small Ticket to Ride cards, and then all you need are the basic things. So this is like a playable 2-player version of Ticket to Ride, which is kind of cool. And that's what I was holding on to for a while. And then I got Ticket to Ride Europe. And I no longer needed like this as a base. And then I also now have Ticket to Ride North America, because that's what's in WSBG, and so I need to have a copy of that to run tournaments. So this is going to my parents, because they don't have Ticket to Ride Africa. They have a lot of the expansions, and they don't have this one. And so I might as well add it to their Ticket to Ride collection, because that is who I generally play Ticket to Ride with. And speaking of Ticket to Ride Europe is also going. Because now I have Ticket to Ride America, and I like USA so much more than Europe. And no, I like Ticket to Ride, the regular base game, more than Europe, because I find it to be more cutthroat. I find Europe to be a lot more forgiving, and I don't want forgiveness in my games. I want to be sat upon. I want to just be dominated. That's what I want. Or to dominate, depending upon the evening. And so I think Ticket to Ride Europe is a fine implementation. I think the base game is so much better, because I don't really like the tunnels. I don't really like everybody just saving up for that one route across the top. And especially, I don't like the stations, because I like anticipating what tickets you have. And I like, if I'm going to go somewhere, to block it off. You know, I think that's an integral part of Ticket to Ride, and I think you lose that in Europe. So this one is going away. My parents already have that, so it's not going to go into them. That was just going away. And speaking of WSBG, something else that I'm going to get rid of is Gaia Project. So this belongs to WSBG, so I can't sell it, and I just have to give it back to them. I don't know what we'll do with it, but it's no longer in WSBG. It's been removed from the competition, and so I can therefore remove it from my collection. And not because I dislike Gaia Project. I actually quite enjoy Gaia Project. I would like to play this. I would like to believe that I can get this to the table. But the reality of it is that this plays best at 3 to 4. It doesn't really play well at 2. And I also have and enjoy Terra Mystica. And if I'm going to choose to play Gaia Project or Terra Mystica, I'm going to choose Terra Mystica, because I like the theme more. I like the static board. Even though Gaia does a lot of fun stuff, I think the way I'm going to enjoy Gaia Project is probably just on Board Game Arena. This is a tough one. This is a tough one to go, but it's more going, not because I don't enjoy it. I actually think it's a phenomenal game, because it's Terra Mystica, and Terra Mystica is a phenomenal game. I love all the different factions. I haven't even played as all the different factions yet. I'm trying to talk myself out of it, but I need to make these hard decisions, because I do not have the space. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment in Toronto that'll probably be torn down in a few years, and I'll be who knows where. But for now, this is where I am. I just don't have the room. I don't have the room. This game is awesome, but it can go back to WSBG, or more likely, I'll just give it away at a WSBG event. Did you know that we have regional qualifiers happening in a bunch of places? Where can you find that information? That's a great question. I'm going to make a page on the website so that I can direct people to it. But one that's coming up that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be running and hosting, is going to be at the Level Up retreat that Alex Radcliffe has a hand in. There's going to be so many people there. Alex from Board Game Co. will be there. Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. will be there. That's happening February 2nd to the 4th. So I'm super excited to check that out. I'll probably plug it again on another thing, just because it seems like it's going to be a great convention. It's just one of those sort of game playing conventions. It's like Breakout if you're here in Toronto. That's taking place in New Jersey. I think it's close to an airport. It's close to an airport. Get a cheap flight, go in. They got you better hotel rooms. Done. So maybe I'll give this away there. I don't know. I think, but you can go and you can play in my little mini tournament. There's just going to be 2 or 3 rounds, and you can win an entry into WSBG as well. Worthwhile attending. Alex and I haven't worked out the details yet, so maybe that's all wrong, but I don't care. I'm going to start talking about it because I'm excited. And if you happen to be going, let me know. I'm going to talk about this probably in more videos as well, but I'm excited. It'll be a fun little game playing convention, and very similar to Niagara Board Game Con. And yeah, I'm excited. Now here's a cheat, but I'm including it in the list for shock and awe. Aeon's End is out of here. Aeon's End Outcasts. The worst one! No, it's not the worst one. This box is just empty. You can see. If it was the real Aeon's End, I certainly do not have the wrist and grip strength to be doing this right now without it completely tumbling over and over. If you have Aeon's End, just cram it all in one box. You're fine, because that's what I have. I have Aeon's End Outcasts and the New Age that I'm working through and gonna play. And but it's off the shelf, so it's just part of my big pile. There's my cheat, whatever. Okay, only a couple more. Another one that's going to my parents' house is Skull Canyon Ski Fest. I have a review of this up. I think it's quite a good game. It got the seal of approval. It did, because every time I play it, I go, oh yeah, this game is fun. It's like Ticket to Ride meets Parks is the breakdown. I guess I haven't been using my top down as effectively anymore. So you basically have, yeah, I'm on the screen. You have all these different routes and these different ski lifts that you're going down. But in essence, you're going to be taking these cards. On your turn, you can draw 2 cards into your hand, or you can play your cards to claim a route. The only difference between Ticket to Ride and that is that you have to physically, your skier has to physically be on top of that route so you can ski down it. Pretty fun. it's a fun game. My parents enjoy it, and I don't see myself playing this that often unless I'm playing it with lighter gamer. I'm probably killing my light with this stack of games because my parents really enjoy Ticket to Ride, and so I might as well add it to their Ticket to Ride bonanza as something to shake up. Really, this is just because like I don't want to get rid of it, but I also need to recognize that I don't really play it, and I'm not going to pull it out on an average game night because generally we skew towards more complex things, right? And so I need to kind of tailor my shelves to that. It's either more complex things or games that Renee won't let me get rid of. Renee likes complex things as well, but she also likes some of the other lighter ones that I don't. So Skull Canyon's gone, but it could come back. This is another one that might, yeah, it's got to leave the shelves because I've taken it off. I think I've convinced Renee to get rid of it. Speaking of fun little lighter games, we have Survive. A reason why we can get rid of it is because the people who I play this with own copies of it. I think Survive is a really fun family game. It's very simple. There's this map, and there are all these little meeples. And on your turn, you can move 3 spaces. You can move 1 meeple 3 spaces. You can move 3 meeples 1 space. But your goal is to get them off the main island and onto these corner islands before the volcano erupts and everybody dies. The thing is, just like in life, some people are more important than other people and are worth more value. And you want to get your very special people to safety before you get the friggin' 1 value people. Also, though, you get to move sea creatures and whales and sharks to eat other people and make sure that they don't get to safety. And whatever tile you flip over sometimes has an effect that you can play later on in the game. It's a fun game. The pieces are super fun. You got all these whales and the sea monsters and the sharks, the little boats. Super great, lightweight family game. Like a phenomenal family game. But I don't have a family because my whole family was kidnapped by bears. So who am I going to play this with? Who knows? Also, like my buddy Brandon really likes this game, but I already got him a copy to have, and if I want to play it, I can just take his copy then. So, see you, Survive. You didn't survive this purge, survived many, many others, and also Renee might veto, but I don't know. And then finally, we've gotten to the end. This is my favorite game out of the games that are on the table by far, and it is Arkham Horror. 2nd edition. It's out of print. It's a relic. Rare. It's the best edition of Arkham Horror. And I know I just did a R&R show on Rahdo's channel about Ameritrash games. This was my #1 Ameritrash game. People said they liked Eldritch Horror better. And then in the comments, someone said that, yeah, but in Eldritch Horror, the monsters just sit there. And here, they roam around the streets and can really ruin your friggin' day. And so, yeah, obviously, I haven't played Eldritch Horror, but I don't care. Arkham Horror is better. The reason I'm getting rid of it, this is a long game, 3 to 4 hours, and I haven't played this copy maybe ever. Maybe since I got it. I may have never played this copy, and I believe I got this 6 or 7 years ago. And the reason being is because the person who I always play this with owns a copy. And you know what? My brother-in-law owns a copy. And so because of that, why am I holding on to this? Have you played? You may like the game. Which I do. I think it's a fun time whenever you carve out the time to do it. But who am I going to play this with? The people who already have copies. And if they didn't, I would just give this to them. Because we only play it together. And if that's the case for games, and that's my next level step of purging, is figuring out who I play it with. Do they have a copy? Can I give them a copy to get it off my shelf? If I only play with one person. If I play with multiple people, then it's a different conversation, right? Because then you want to have it at your place, so that if you're going to different houses or if multiple people are coming over, you have access to it. Totally get that. But if you only play it with specific people, which I do, then I can just play their copy. And they have some of the out of print expansions, which I'm never going to have because they're out of print. Although they want all of them, and they will not get them all. So there we go. We got stacks on stacks on stacks of games, getting rid of another purge happening. This is probably 4 cubbies of a Calyx. I'd say I don't have a Calyx. I got Rumpy shelves behind me. This feels good. This feels really good. to get these out, and I really just did a purge. It feels very recent. I don't know when it was. It was recent. It was like a couple months ago. It was a few months ago. That's horrible that I wasn't able to purge these at that time. But there's a reason why I had held on to all of these at that time. And only 2 of them I was holding on to review, right? Like everything else, I just made the cut, still made the cut. But as your space dwindles, you can make harder decisions, harder conversations. And I think purging is a fantastic thing because the more I do it and the harder it gets, the more I know I'm looking at a shelf that I absolutely love. And that's what you want in a collection. You want somebody to come over and like pick a game and you go, oh man, this is gonna rock your world, right? That's what I want at least. So that's why I get pretty excited about it. So yeah, that's it. That's the purge. When was the last time you purged? Let me know. And if it was 6 months ago, how many games have you gotten since then? And how many of your games have you not played in the past 7 years? You got any of those? How many games have you not played in the past 3 years? Because I think I still have a few of those on my shelf, but I love them and I want to play them. I don't know. I don't know, but what I do know is this is the purge. It's capped right now until I get too many more. But that's for future Chris to deal with. Thanks so much for watching. Pinch that little like button. My name is Chris George, and I don't have a catchphrase, but I do have to admit that I also don't have any extra space on my shelves. My shelves are still full. This was the excess. This was the games that were piled in front and in secret places around the house. And now all the games are on the shelf, so that's a beneficial. We're in big trouble.